My dear students, welcome to chemistry class. Here in this video, we are going to discuss about allotropic form of sulfur, then preparation, properties and uses of sulfur dioxide. Okay, so first sulfur, that is first one is allotropic form of sulfur. So for sulfur there are two types. One is crystalline as well as amorphous allotropes. Amorphous. Okay. Now the crystalline forms includes one is rhombic sulfur, that is called alpha sulfur. Then another one is monoclinic sulfur. This is called beta sulfur. Whereas this amorphous, here only one type, that is plastic sulfur, that we are calling gamma sulfur. Okay. Also milk of sulfur, actually these three are very important. Then milk of sulfur and colloidal sulfur. Okay. So sulfur exists in two forms, allotropic form, one is crystalline, another one is amorphous. In crystalline, that first one is rhombic sulfur, that is called alpha sulfur. Then second type is monoclinic sulfur or beta sulfur. Here amorphous type, that is only important allotropic form is plastic sulfur, or you can say gamma sulfur. Other allotropes are milk of sulfur and colloidal sulfur. Okay. So first we will see rhombic sulfur. So the first type is rhombic sulfur, or you can say alpha sulfur. Okay. Rhombic sulfur, also known as sulfur, it is very stable. So thermodynamically it is a stable allotrope, stable allotropic form. Actually this color is yellow color, and it composed of 8 S8 molecules. Okay. Then when heated, what will happen? When heated slowly above 90 degrees Celsius, heated slowly above 96 degrees Celsius, it converts into monoclinic sulfur. Monoclinic, or you can say beta sulfur. So alpha form will convert into beta form when heated slowly above 96 degree Celsius. Then when it cools below 96 degree Celsius, it will convert back to alpha sulfur. Okay. So this monoclinic will be converted to rhombic sulfur. Okay. So second type is monoclinic sulfur. That is called beta sulfur. This monoclinic sulfur also contains S8 molecules. In addition to that, plus S6 molecules also present but in small quantity. Molecules in small quantity. Okay. It exists as long needle like long needle like structure like prism, and is also called prismatic sulfur. Okay, and it is stable between 96 to 190 degree Celsius. It is stable and slowly changes into rhombic sulfur. Changes to rhombic sulfur. Okay. So that's all about this rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur. Clear? Next one we are going to see about that amorphous form. Now amorphous sulfur, that is only one type, that is plastic sulfur. Plastic sulfur, or you can say it is gamma sulfur. Okay. So when molten sulfur is poured into cold water plus cold water, then we are getting yellow rubbery ribbon, that is yellow rubbery ribbon. This is called plastic sulfur. Plastic sulfur. Okay. So plastic sulfur is produced when molten sulfur is poured over cold water. We will get plastic sulfur. The color will be yellow color, and that character will be rubber color. Rubber. Okay. So like a ribbon we will get. That is called plastic sulfur. It is very soft, and it can be stretched easily. So on cooling, that means on standing, it slowly becomes hard. On cooling, it will become hard and changes to stable rhombic sulfur. Rhombic sulfur. Clear? Now some general characters of sulfur. So sulfur exists in liquid and solid states, liquid and gaseous states. Then around 140 degrees Celsius, that monoclinic sulfur melts and it form yellow liquid, that is yellow liquid. This is called lambda sulfur. Okay, lambda sulfur. Okay, so around 140 degrees Celsius, this monoclinic sulfur melts and it will form a mobile yellow liquid, that is called lambda sulfur. Okay, so the vapor, so when it melts, so vapor will be produced. The vapor of the liquid sulfur consists of 90%. So vapor of sulfur, it consists of 90% of S8, S7 and S6 molecules, and small amount of S2, S3, S4, S5 molecules. Okay, so that's all about some basic knowledge about sulfur. Now we are going to see about that sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide. So the first one is preparation. So how sulfur dioxide is prepared, that we are going to see. So now the preparation of sulfur dioxide, formula is SO2. So there are three types. One is from sulfur, this is called large scale preparation from sulfur. Then from sulfides, then laboratory preparations. So there are three preparations are there. One is from sulfur, this is large scale, and from sulfides and laboratory preparations. Okay, so first one is from sulfur. From sulfur, so it is prepared by burning of sulfur in air. So burning of sulfur in air. So air contains oxygen. About 6 to 8% of sulfur is oxidized to SO2, to sulfur dioxide. Okay, so sulfur plus oxygen, we will get SO2. Also sulfur plus oxygen, that another equation, that is here 2S 3O2. So when excess of sulfur react with oxygen, we will get sulfur trioxide. Okay, so actually this equation is not important, so this equation is enough. S plus O2, it will give SO2. But some of the sulfur reacts excess with oxygen, we will produce sulfur trioxide. Okay, so this also actually you needed, because 6 to 8% of sulfur is oxidized to, sulfur trioxide, not sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. So this is important. So for the preparation of sulfur, this equation is enough. In case if you write 6 to 8% of sulfur is oxidized to SO3, then in that case this equation is required. Okay, then from sulfide, that sulfur ore, that is galena, that formula is PbS. Then another one is zinc blende, and zinc blende, that is zinc sulfide. When roasted in air, we are getting sulfur dioxide. SO2 will be liberated. The equation is zinc sulfide ZnS plus O2 when roasted, zinc oxide plus SO2. So balance the equation, put 2 here, then 3, then put 2 here, then put 2 here. Okay. Also FeS2, from here also we can prepare from FeS2 plus O2, we will get Fe2O3 plus SO2. So balance the equation, put 4 here, then 11, then here 2, then here 8. Okay, so 2 methods we studied, then one more method, that is laboratory preparation. So third method, that is laboratory preparation. Here sulfur dioxide is prepared in the laboratory by treating metal plus sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, we are getting sulfur dioxide. For example, copper plus H2SO4, we will get copper sulfate CuSO4 plus SO2 plus H2O, then balance the equation, here put 2, then here 2. So now the equation is balanced. Another type of preparation is, so sulfuric acid can react with metal sulfite plus H2SO4, we are getting sulfur dioxide. The ionic equation is SO3 minus plus H plus H2O plus SO2. Here put 2. Okay, so in the laboratory, metal plus sulfuric acid or metal sulfide plus sulfuric acid, we will get sulfur dioxide. Clear? Next one is properties. Physical properties. So physical properties of sulfur dioxide, that is, so the source of sulfur dioxide, sources, it mainly comes from volcanic eruptions and power plants where they are using coal and oil. So the power plants where they are using coal and oil, it is producing sulfur dioxide. Also from copper melting plants. Okay, so these are the sources of sulfur dioxide. Then it is a colorless gas with suffocating odor. Then it is highly soluble in water. And it is 2.2 times heavier than air. It can be liquefied at 2.5 atm atmospheric pressure and temperature is 288 Kelvin. Okay. So the boiling point of this sulfur dioxide in the liquid form, that is 263 Kelvin. Okay. So that's all about physical properties of sulfur dioxide. Next we are going to study about chemical properties. Of sulfur dioxide. So chemical properties of sulfur dioxide. It is acidic oxide. It dissolves in water. To form sulfurous acid. The equation is sulfur dioxide. When it dissolves in water, it will produce sulfurous acid, that H2SO3. This is sulfurous acid. Okay. So the sulfurous acid, again it can dissociate into ions, H2SO3, H plus SO3, 2 minus. Right. So that's all about that acidic properties. Then second chemical properties, it can react with sodium hydroxide, reaction with NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, to produce sodium bisulfite. Then with Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, it will produce sodium sulfite. Okay. So when sulfur dioxide react with sodium hydroxide, it will produce sodium bisulfite. When it react with sodium carbonate, it will produce sodium sulfite. Okay. Now see the reaction, that is SO2 plus sodium hydroxide NaOH, we are getting sodium bisulfite NaHSO3. Next, sulfur dioxide react with sodium carbonate Na2CO3, we are getting, so plus water, it is a solution, water, we will produce sodium bisulfite NaHSO3 plus CO2. Okay, balance the equation, put 2 here, here also 2, so 2 NaHCO3 SO3, when it decomposed into sodium sulfite Na2SO3 plus H2O plus SO2. Okay, so here this is sodium sulfite and this is sodium bisulfite. If hydrogen comes, you have to say bisulfate. If hydrogen is absent, then sodium sulfite. Clear? Then third reaction is oxidizing property. Third one is oxidizing property. Oxidizing property. So sulfur dioxide oxidizes hydrogen sulfide to sulfur SO2. It is an oxidizing agent, so it will oxidizes sulfur plus H2O, because the hydrogen is removed. If hydrogen is removed, that is called oxidation. So balance, put 3 here, then put 2 here, then here 2. So the reaction equation is balanced. Okay. Also magnesium, it oxidizes magnesium. So magnesium oxide plus sulfur to MgO. Okay. So now 3 important chemical properties. First one is it is an acidic oxide, so it dissolves in water. Second one is reaction with NaOH and Na2CO3. Third one is oxidizing property. We will see some more properties also. Next property is reducing property. Reducing property. See, it can readily oxidize. It acts as a reducing agent. It reduces chlorine into hydrochloric acid. So it is called reducing property. Example, sulfur dioxide plus water plus chlorine, it will produce sulfuric acid H2SO4 plus HCl. So it reduces to sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. Okay, that balance the equation, put 2 here, put 2 here, now the equation is balanced. Also it reduces potassium permanganate, to manganese 2 plus ion, then potassium dichromate to chromium ion. Okay, we'll see the equations. So KMnO4, so first equation KMnO4, potassium permanganate plus SO2 plus H2O, it will produce K2SO4 plus MnSO4 plus H2SO4. Okay, now balance the equation. So put 2 here, 5, then 2 here, then 2 here, then 2 here. Okay, so it will reduce to manganese ion. Okay, next one, potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7 plus sulfur dioxide plus H2SO4, it will produce K2SO4 potassium sulfate plus chromium sulfate K2Cr2SO4 thrice plus H2O. So balance the equation, put 3 here, then here, that's all. The equation is balanced. Okay, so that's all about reducing property. Next one, reaction with oxygen. So next one, fifth one, reaction with oxygen. Reaction with oxygen. So sulfur dioxide, when it reacts with oxygen, it will oxidize to sulfur dioxide. SO2 is oxidized to sulfur trioxide, SO2 to SO3. So this happen upon heating with oxygen at high temperatures. So heating at high temperatures, so this reaction occurs. Okay, so this reaction, it is used mainly for the manufacture of sulfuric acid, for making sulfuric acid. Now we will see the equations. SO2 plus oxygen, both are gases. We are heating around 450 degrees Celsius. That catalyst is vanadium pentoxide. This is very important. Temperature is 450 degrees Celsius, and that catalyst is V2O5. We will get SO3. So balance the equations. Here put 2. Okay. So 2SO3. Okay. So put 2 here. Now the equation is balanced. Now sixth one is bleaching action of sulfur dioxide. Bleaching action of sulfur dioxide. So in the presence of water, sulfur dioxide bleaches colored wool, silk, sponges and straw into colorless due to the reducing property. So in the presence of water, so it acts as the bleaching agent. So sulfur dioxide bleaches colored wool, that is colored wool, silk and sponges and straw, etc. into colorless. This is due to the reducing property. Okay. See that sulfur dioxide is SO2. So in the presence of water, so water H2O, it will form H2SO4, then nascent hydrogen. So balance. So put 2 here, 2 here, then here also 2. So colored, that is we are representing X, this is colored, plus this nascent hydrogen 2, X H2, this is colorless. Okay. So that colorless product is allowed to stand in air. It reoxidized by atmospheric oxygen to its original color. See, another important point. So the bleached product is allowed to stand in air, so that what will happen, it will reoxidized to its original color. Okay. So hence the bleaching action of sulfur dioxide is temporary. Okay. Next one, uses of sulfur dioxide. Uses. So there are two important uses. One is it is used in bleaching hair, silk, wool, etc. Then second use, it is mainly used for disinfecting crops, disinfecting crops, plants in agriculture, plants in agriculture. Okay, students. So next one we are going to see about the structure of sulfur dioxide. Next one, structure of sulfur dioxide. SO2. So in sulfur dioxide, that is sulfur atom undergoes sp2 hybridization. A double bond arises between sulfur and oxygen. Double bond between sulfur and oxygen, that is due to P by and D by overlapping. So the double bond arises due to P by and D by overlapping. Okay. So I am going to draw the structure of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur is a bend shape. Oxygen, double bond. Then here is the resonance structure. Here double bond, here oxygen. Then here positive charge. Here also positive charge and localized electron here. Then here 6 electrons. Then here 4 electrons. Then here 4 electrons. And this is minus charge. And here 6 electrons. Here minus charge. Okay. Here electrons. Lone pair electrons. Okay. So that's all about the structure of sulfur dioxide. Okay, students. Hope today you understood about that lesson regarding sulfur dioxide preparation, uses and structures and chemical properties, also allotropic form of sulfur. So we'll meet in the next video. Thank you very much.